My name's Jessica, I'm from Manchester in England, and I have had my implant for 6 years and it's a Sonnet 1. When I was 7 years old, they found out that I was profoundly deaf in my left ear. Throughout my childhood and my early 20s, I didn't really have any problems with my hearing in my right ear. When I went to university, I started to struggle with tinnitus, which is like a buzzing sound in your head really that you can hear, and that would affect my hearing. So I went back to audiology and they first fitted me with a hearing aid, and I used that quite a lot. And then in 2016 I had a miscarriage and I lost my hearing in my right ear. I remember driving to work thinking, oh, I can't hear the music, so I'd try a different station and I'd think, oh, maybe there's something wrong with my aerial, and I used to drive on the motorway. Then when I got off the motorway, I'd call my husband and say, oh, I'm nearly at work now, and it got to the point where I'd ring him, but I wasn't hearing anything when I rang him, so I'd be like, I can't hear you, there's something wrong with the phone, bye, I love you, bye. And I didn't think it was me, I didn't realise that it was me. I thought it was something else. I was always blaming something else. Never really realised just how bad it was, really. And that, I guess the feeling is denial. I was in denial to the point that I had actually lost my hearing. So in February 2017, I started to have some tests for a Cochlear implant, and I passed those tests, not with flying colours, but with 0, because I didn't have any hearing, and they said, yeah, perfect, you're suitable for a Cochlear implant. And I had the operation in 2017, September, and then I was switched on the 13th of October. And that's my story really. And I got hearing back straight away. I went out and I could hear everything again. It was like, just like the old days, I could hear everybody and everything. I'm very lucky. To me, it's like I've got my old life back. I can hear everything the way that I remember it was. It's really emotional because I forget that I'm wearing an implant. I don't really realise that I've got it on, which sounds really silly. But I just go about my normal everyday life now, doing everything that I can because I can hear. And then it's only when the batteries die or I take it off that I suddenly realise, oh, I haven't actually got any sound. So for me, life is just normal again because of the implant. Without it, it's a different world without it. I join in on conversations, I'm back to leading the conversations again, I've got my confidence back, I want to go to places, I've just got my normal life back again. So when they turned the implant on and I got all the voices back and I could understand straight away, and then when I went outside and I heard the birds for the first time, and when I went back 2 weeks later to have my map and I got 96%, for me it was just life changing, and I wanted to be able to give something back, to say thank you really. That's why I became a mentor, because I wanted to help people on the same journey that I've been on. Yeah, be brave. You know, it's a big thing thinking I've got to have an operation. The operation's not that bad. It's actually quite easy. It's not that long either. Keep your expectations really low. So even when you're deaf, life is still beautiful. So make sure when you're going through that process of being deaf, you take yourself out into the world on your own, or with family, or with whoever supports you, and just look at the beauty of life. It sounds really cliche, I guess, but life is still beautiful without sound. And then when you do have your implant, go back out and go to the places where you have no sound, and to hear that sound, because that's really incredible. And it's such an amazing feeling when you do things like, if you're deaf and you walk on leaves and you can't hear the leaves crunch, and then you try again when you can hear with an implant and you walk on the leaves and you can hear that crunch. That gives you an incredible feeling. So keep expectations low. speak to other people, definitely speak to people who have got implants, touch base with people, try not to disconnect from things. So when you do go deaf and it happens, you start to take yourself away from people. Try not to do that, try and reach out for support, try and still live a normal life as you can, and just hope for the best. Just continuing to love life, really. There's nothing that I can't do without it. 9 months after having the implant, I had a job interview, which I never expected that I would do, to work with children who are deaf. So I support children who are deaf, and I enjoy watching them on their journeys, and supporting them